20063. Introduction of Surveying. At the end of this topic, students should be able to explain the basic principles and scope of surveying. I am your lecturers, Prawn Hasley and Binti Mohammed. I am Sham. Any inquiry you should be able to contact me at 01335022753. Surveying is the technique of determining the relative position of different features on, above or beneath the surface of the Earth by means of direct or indirect measurements and finally representing them on a sheet of paper known as plan or map. Surveying also can define as a science and art of making all essential measurements to determine the relative position of points or physical and cultural details above, on, or beneath the surface of the Earth, and to depict them in a usable form, or to establish the position of points or details. Following given is objective of surveying. It's useful to produce map or plans. Second, it's used to the determination of the relative positions of natural and artificial features. Third, for setting out work. Fourth, it's used to the setting out upon the ground of proposed construction or engineering works. Fifth, it's used for computations such as areas and volumes. And the last one for the execution of calculations for land areas and for earthworks volumes. Types of surveying is generally divided by two. First is for plain surveying. Plain survey, which generally cover areas up to. In plain surveying, relatively small areas are under consideration and it is taken that the Earth is flat. It gives a horizontal plane. It's considered the north-south lines are assumed to be parallel. Calculations for a plane surface are relatively simple, since the surveyor is able to use plane geometry and plane trigonometry. It not suitable for large areas, less than 250 km square. Mostly to be considered in all survey works. Plane survey are used for the layout of highway project. Plane surveying is the first step to execute them. Now let's see for the second types of surveying. The second types is geodetic surveying. Geodetic surveying can describe as a measurement of such large part of the Earth's surface. It's suitable for large areas, whereas up to 250 km square. Its frameworks given of angular and distance measurements between points are necessary to control all survey. This method usually using the sophisticated instrument, accurate methods of observations and their computations with accurate adjustment. Generally carried out to provide plan control. Geodetic surveys are usually carried out by the Department of National Survey. Now let we see the conclusion, the difference between geodetic surveying and plane surveying. Surveying can be classified into following based on purpose of use. It can be divided into a part of engineering survey, hydrographic survey, topographic survey and utility survey. Engineering surveying. Engineering surveying is the broad term used to describe the work of surveyors on civil engineering jobs. The role of an engineering surveyor is a lot larger than simply set out for construction of a structure and survey pickups. Engineering surveyors will usually be the professionals who first examine a finished design for a project and often will identify any design or practicality issues. Engineering surveyors will use a wide range of instruments to assist them with their on-site work. The most common of these will be the total station, GPS and dumpy level or digital level. Once all the survey data has been recorded, The engineering surveyor will return to the office to process the data, complete calculations and finally complete the as-built documentation. The as-built documentation may be presented on a drawing, spreadsheet or a combination of both. This survey is important to carry it out for determination of quantities or to afford sufficient data for designing engineering work such as roads, railways, dams, sewage disposal, and construction work generally. Based on boundaries mark, benchmark, triangulation monument, GPS monument and have vertical and horizontal control. Data for designing engineering work such as roads, railways, dams, sewage disposal, and construction work generally. Based on boundaries mark, benchmark, triangulation monument, GPS monument and have vertical and horizontal control. Cadastral surveying. The word cadastral is derived from cadaster, meaning a public record, survey, or map of the value, extent, and ownership of land as a basis of taxation. A cadastral survey is needed when you want to establish a new property, define the borders of a property or change the rights related to a property. A cadastral survey is any activity that uses or generates cadastral evidence to produce an outcome whose primary purpose is boundary determination. The products of a boundary determination can be plans, certificates or digital data, example of cadastral plan, or certificate plan. Hydrographic surveying. Hydrographic survey is a survey deal with the mapping of large water bodies for the purpose of nautical navigation, prediction of tides and determination of mean sea level and control works such as oil exploration, construction of harbors works and waterways. Hydrographic survey is the science of measurement and description of features which affect maritime navigation, marine construction, dredging, offshore oil exploration/offshore oil drilling and related activities. Strong emphasis is placed on soundings, shorelines, tides, currents, seabed and submerged obstructions that relate to the previously mentioned activities. Hydrography is collected under rules which vary depending on the acceptance authority. Traditionally conducted by ships with a sounding line or echo sounding. Is the science of measurement and description of features which affect maritime navigation, marine construction, dredging, offshore oil exploration/offshore oil drilling and related activities. Strong emphasis is placed on soundings, shorelines, tides, currents, seabed and submerged obstructions that relate to the previously mentioned activities. Hydrography is collected under rules which vary depending on the acceptance authority. Traditionally conducted by ships with a sounding line or echo sounding, surveys are increasingly conducted with the aid of aircraft and sophisticated electronic sensor systems in shallow waters. Topographical survey. The survey which are carried out to maps showing the topography of an area, the natural or man-made features on the surface of the earth. To transfer information on the paper to the field, whereas proposed position of any item of construction must be marked out on the ground. It used to calculate areas and volume for related areas. To conduct a topographic survey, a surveying quality global positioning system, GPS, unit and an electronic distance measurement, EDM, total station theodolite, TST, are used to determine the locations of features shown on the plan. A topographic survey shows existing features, property lines, and contour lines that indicate the lay of the land. Utility survey. Utility surveying, also known as utility mapping, is used to identify cable routes and pipelines beneath the ground using a combination of non-invasive and non-destructive means to characterize subsurface features. Underground utility mapping surveys are detailed, accurate drawings identifying all underground utilities and service routes, including gas, water, telecommunications, electricity and drainage, as well as voids within a specified area. The underground utilities are normally shown on top of a topographical survey plan showing all above-ground features such as buildings, boundaries, services covers and site levels. Normally presented digitally in CAD format, also able to provide scaled paper copies. Accurate information on services located underground is an important stage in the development of a site. What are the benefits of having a utility survey undertaken? First, reduce project planning time. Second, minimize risk. And third, comply with the health and safety regulation. Principle of surveying. The fundamental principles upon which different methods of surveying are based are very simple. To produce map or plan, location of a point by measurement from two control point are selected. The line and then plotted a convenient scale on a drawing sheet. The line use part of the baseline to use the next measurement. The following measurement point are based on both of the method. Chain survey method, third point measurement and base on chain survey. Offsets method, rectangular coordinates, short measurements at right angles to a measured straight survey line. Traverse method, bearing and distance measurement from any part control point by using prismatic compass or theodolite. Triangulation method, bearing measured for every point.